Hey friends, welcome to another episode of the 10 Laws Podcast with East Forest. I'm Mr. Forrest, and we have part 2 of our conversation with VC Johnson, Mr. Vernon Courtland Johnson, otherwise known as that voice you just heard in the theme music, the voice Mr. 10 Laws. He is also a very well-known artist. He's been the artist for Powell Peralta skateboards for a very long time, and you can check out his amazing artwork. He did the artwork for the original The Education of the Individual Soul album. A lot of pen and ink work there, scraping, really stunning stuff. But we're going to continue the conversation that we began last week. That was part 1 if you missed it. And here in part 2, things get even deeper, weirder, more beautiful, more personal, with a really beautiful revelation that he pulled forth right at the end, which I found my whole body kind of lit up, and I was like, oh, there's something here. So I'm grateful for that. And thank you to everyone on our Patreon for supporting this podcast, patreon.com/eastforest. Thank you to everyone over there who's a supporter. Check it out if you'd like to see if you want to support too. That's patreon.com/eastforest. And of course, this is an evergreen podcast, so you can go back in time if you're new to the podcast, and there's all sorts of amazing conversations from the past 5 years that are just as relevant today, with scientists and artists and creators and musicians. Court Johnson's been on the show about a year ago for his first Zoom ever in his life, but here he is back for his Zoom number 2, for Transcendent Zoom, as he calls it. But I say we just get into it. So this is our second half of the conversation with VC Johnson.
I agree with you in this moment. For some reason, give me 2 single numbers.
5-9.
5 is expression, 9 is mastery. I want a snapshot of you in a moment of masterful expression. There you are, expressing yourself masterfully. Give me a snapshot of a moment.
Well, I thought of, let me see. This snapshot came to mind.
Yeah. That's, that's a Polaroid.
Yeah.
Is that you or an essence made of yours?
Well, it's me last year.
That was you last year?
Playing a show in London, and it's funny because today we're struggling. I had some difficult news that a show in London this year, we might have to cancel it, or we're trying to figure it out, and I'm feeling very sad about all of this, and that's sort of the grasping of like goals, or it needs to be this way or that way, and freedom lies in not needing those triumphs.
That's very interesting. I've been invited to a show in London this year. The showing of my work, and it implied also is that I would be there for the opening or something. And I don't see myself doing it. It's in October, but I'm haunted by this little piece of paper on my wall that's like 30 years old now. It's really faded and smoked and stained by tobacco, and where it says, "To a still point all things come, from a still point all is seen." It haunts me because it sounds like kind of Taoist, like it doesn't make sense to people who really need to feel like they're going places. I spend 99% of my time here in my house, in truth. I haven't been further than 100 miles from home in 10 years or more. How can I get anywhere if I stay here all the time? And what is the, I like thinking outside the box, but a lot of people don't understand that. I hear people say, yeah, I'm really, you're really going places, Johnson. I think, what do you mean? Except that I am not contained in my body. Yeah, I've been invited to a magazine party in LA on the 17th. And again, that's 100 miles away in Venice, California. And I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah.
Or what it would do for me. Except that I heard that there are going to be some of the beautiful people there, the successful, famous, wealthy people there.
But will the fog be there?
And it could, my ego says that it could rub off on me.
Could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It could exhaust me too, because the public is a real challenge for me. I'm a super empath, and mixed messages. The games that people play in public can make me dizzy, nauseous. I don't want to play any games. If I were to go and show up in Essence, I might, get killed.
Yeah, you would need an exit plan.
Because I know there are a lot of souls who are pissed off about my last life and vowed to avenge my iniquities. And everywhere I go, I encounter souls that I knew in my last life, and I can feel what they feel about me because of my mischief in my last life. I won't be specific about that life, except that a lot of people know of it and have heard stories. Which are not true. Let's see. In this life, you developed an aspect of self, whether it's me, the me self, the myself self, the cultural self, or the eternal self, I. The me self wants shelter and food and comfort. The cultural self wants belonging and popularity, wealth, admiration. The eternal self, the soul, desires to manifest essence above all else. And now we're wondering about what is essence, something unmeasurable. My essence is unmeasurable. Science doesn't have the instruments to detect my essence, my truth on an oscilloscope or something, some sophisticated device that would instantly identify me as a slave, artisan, warrior, scholar, sage, priest, king, or whatever. Religion also has failed to identify the individual soul. And so our essence is neglected. And we come in life to become hypnotized by everything but what we truly are. When we look in the mirror, we don't see our essence. I would that thou go to the mirror and see thyself in essence, and be shocked or whatever, but nevertheless experience the triumph of being able to see your true self in essence. If I close my eyes right now, I'm going to see you as a river, a blue river otter, looking at me from the water as I sit on the bank smoking. And so I open my eyes and I see you as you look in this life to others. But in my mind's eye, you look like a blue otter, the very happy blue otter in the stream. Which are you? Joy we have together now. We are speaking of something ineffable. A painting can't be made of the soul. A photograph can't be taken of the soul. Yet, I mean, science holds promise. If we're all God, then I would go to the mirror and see myself and see God or something, which they, assert. That they assert in some parts of the world. We're all God. But having incarnated at this time on earth, I perceive that the soul is as of yet not identified by religions. religions that see God as more important than the individual soul, leaving the soul to be left out of the picture in the church. Perhaps in a church there should be special mirrors that that we stand in front of and see ourselves in essence, at least one day a week. I like to imagine that I look like a fat pink dragon. I'm really fond of that identification. And I'm glad to identify with being a fat pink dragon. Because the dragon is a symbol of the soul that eats one life after another until it's happy. How many lives do I have to consume, integrate until I achieve a kind of enlightenment? What's in freedom from all the dread, all the mortal dread. 1-3, you are physically healthy. You have two choices at level 1-3. Word?
Doorway?
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. A word.
Caution.
Yes. Would you rather see your physical self as a doorway or as caution? Caution.
Doorway.
Ah, good, good. You have flipped a switch in room 1-3. This will be of consequence in this exercise of the now and choices made in the now that can really alter consciousness.
Good. Yeah.
And so be it.
Yeah.
You have chosen. Very good. It registers with me too. Very good. I'd rather not be cautious. I would rather be the alternative, the former. What was the first word?
Doorway.
Yeah.
Doorway.
Yes. Perhaps our conversation will be a doorway, become a doorway. That as a result of our conversation, we'll walk through a door together and leave something behind.
Yeah.
Lately, I've wondered, I know it sounds kind of far-fetched, that my ego has died. My false personality may have died. And will I miss it? All the special effects of my false personality were charming for people at moments, when they came looking for me, and I greeted them at the door and said, "It's so good to see you. Come in. Let's have some coffee and a smoke and see what we come up with, okay? Would you rather that I be of essence with a modest special effect of my name is Marcel. Yes, I confess I stay in my shell, but you have come to me, and I will stay in my shell as I speak to you, as the authentic self that I am. I learned to speak this way, and I'm comfortable speaking this way, but I can warp for you. I could dance for you. I can sing for you. And, but I won't be identified with it.
Sounds like a court jester.
That wisdom deserves a touch of humor, if not also paradox, irony. How ironic that I might win the lotto and then come to mistrust all my friends. That 30 years of smoking has brought me to a new physical condition that I'm afraid of, because it's not the hard guy that I used to be. Down to 150 after chemo and radiation and a heart attack and all this stuff. And I scarcely even walk these days more than 100 feet in a day. I'm shriveling up, but feeling triumphant too. What an irony. The last 10 years have been a real ordeal. I lost all my teeth, had a heart attack and throat cancer and all that stuff. And it's just like, wow, boom, boom, boom. That's what it took to bring me to a condition where I can face you like this in the now and say, yes, we found each other. And we will find it in this life too. Whatever it is that compelled us to incarnate at this time together on Earth. Really a momentous turning point on Earth at this time. I'm glad to be here, but I confess to you, I don't really like being human. A member of the most invasive and dangerous species on Earth. I feel what everyone's feeling right now. And I mistake other people's feelings for mine. Because I'm really a happy, funny guy, and I'm really free to spend my days doing what I love doing. And this is really special to me. My second Zoom experience. And I won't argue with you until unless we're going to have makeup sex or something. I said to my landlord the other day, who likes arguing with me, he feels free to show up here and pick some theme and argue, because imprinting for him growing up was arguing as a form of sharing, the best form of sharing. Love is arguing. I don't argue with my wife. I don't have sex, and I miss that in my life. In my right eye, I see a television screen or a computer screen, and a blue triangle. Do you see it?
I see it in your glasses.
Yeah, one has a blue shape in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's triggered the seventh sense in me. The sixth sense is kind of undefined, right? We have smell and touch and taste and hearing and vision, and but there are said to be other senses. And I believe perhaps that there are 7 senses. I'll stretch and say there are 10 senses. There are 10 senses. I wish to experience you more through in vision and in sound. My senses are active, but I wish to experience you through another sense. As you could experience me through another sense, triggered by the 2 numbers you see over my head. What 2 numbers do you see over my head?
2 and 9.
You have used an inner sense, the 7th sense, to discern something about me not expressed and not tangible or tactile, palpable. 2 and 9 symbolizes 2, the sexual center, 9, which is mastery. I don't have sex. I'm glad to abstain from sex, and it's what it triggers. It triggers the primal instinctive self, and I'm glad to be free of that primal instinctive self, which is still, it's just fundamental. I know when to eat, what to eat, when to sleep, when to rest.
I see 3-7 too, though.
Yes. So the second 2 numbers indicate my choices, because 2 numbers always indicate a dynamic. 3 at 2-9, in terms of mastery of the sexual center, I could choose 3 or 7. 3 is healthy, and I can get myself off better than anybody else, truthfully. or 7, which is public, which is in public, I will wear clothing and be restrained in my sexiness. I'm going to choose 3, which is autoeroticism of smoke and breath and voice and the sharing of thought, which is very sexy to me. Thought can be very sensual, like going down a river together towards the ocean of essence, or the ocean of freedom, the ocean of bliss. What does it take to get to bliss? In this situation, it might be required that we go down a river together, and a river is known to be treacherous at times too. Truth is known to be treacherous on the river, the truth of the rapids or rocks or alligators or whatever. What could intrude upon our sojourn on the river today that would jog us off course or get us washed away back into doubt and struggle of human dread, which we both experience? In my intimacy with you, I have 2 choices, truth or else. Of course, I'm going to choose truth. If I'm not truthfully, then I have unconsciously chosen something else. The truth that I hesitate to share with you is that of essence. The truth about you as a soul is that you came to do something in this life which you may not know of. Or may know of in this moment of power. With the next 3 words you came to manifest.
Fluctuation, temptation, power.
The fluctuations of temptation and power are very provocative 3 to me.
Yeah.
Because power is known to, how should we say, expand and contract. And which is why I keep clear quartz on my left side. I haven't got it on my left side at the moment. And this is causing my energy field to expand, which feels dangerous to me, and which may result in something if I'm not careful. If you were to feel freedom to expand in essence, you would experience a triumph, but also a backwash from your public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am going to use my 7th sense to discern that in terms of your mastery of power, your mastery, that there's a backwash that affects you when you give your shows. A backwash composed of grief about you that others don't express, a fear of failing you, a fear of joy that is not expressed. So you walk away from a show, and what happens after the show? Shoulda, coulda, would, that kind of cycle? Do you go into the should, could, would cycle?
It can. It can.
Do you have a way of measuring how much in essence you were at your show in that time of personal power? Do you get a score at the end of a show?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. I can see by expression right now that you're experiencing a 9-3 condition of, I am masterful. I'm masterful. Some you win, some you lose.
Mm.
But it's not what you say, it's your shoes. Pardon me. The shoes are your that which carries you through the rocky territory of doubt and temptation and impulse. The three that you just named are very meaningful to me. As meaningful as what my friend Carl said to me once spontaneously: temptation is the bridge between truth and fiction. The truth of what you do at a show is one thing. The fiction of what you do at a show is another thing. You'd rather experience the truth of what you're doing with the public in making magic publicly. The truth is that you're making magic. But there's the rub, because people don't believe in magic. But music is and has always been a form of magic. And it's not what you say, it's the mode that you might choose. Realist, idealist, skeptic, cynic, pragmatist, stoic, spiritualist. Put me in, coach. I've chosen. And with any attitude, I can accomplish what I've come to do. I am modest, adaptable, and dynamic. Words that many people don't say to themselves, much less, I am masterful. Many people don't say that. You showed me a snapshot of yourself at a masterful moment. Can you remember that moment?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, you can. And does it matter where you are or what you look like? No, that doesn't matter. What matters is your energy field in the room and the magic of sound. How would you like the public to be as they listen to your magic? Perceive, experience that energy that you are. What would you like to see from your public? An honest expression from the public.
Smiles and eyeballs. More just smiles. I don't need eyeballs.
Oh, that's good. That's really visual for me. Maybe a black light would do the trick. Well, I wish for you the experience of smiles and eyeballs in your inner vision right now, because I'm all smiles and eyeballs about you. I can show you my eyeballs. My left eye is a little troubled still today, but I'm glad for shades that shield me from undue light source, but also from the looks that kill. At the height of the Cold War, my family rolled into Russia in a used city bus. But before we went into Russia, I plunged into the Baltic Sea and lost my glasses. The result was that I went all the way through Russia without my glasses and couldn't see the eyes that kill, the looks that kill. And Russia for me was all dreamy. And it allowed me to play my trumpet with my father as he desired for me to play, because he bought me a trumpet back in Sweden before we did the final leg of our journey. For some reason, he didn't have the money, but he found me a trumpet so I could learn how to play When the Saints Go Marching In, which I played in all the campgrounds through Russia.
And this is true. It is true.
I was 13, and yet I was there as part of an historical event and shocked a lot of Russians. Made headlines everywhere. when the Saints go marching in. A Louis Armstrong tune that the Russians are familiar with, that my father strategically set up. We completed the trip. I got my glasses back, and I returned to school in California to be thought of as a communist. What a triumph. May I recommend that before you go into a show that you wear a special glasses that will reveal only eyeballs and smiles.
Good idea.
Click on this special effects menu.
Yeah.
So that as you're doing the show, you only see smiles and eyeballs.
Smart. I need those today. Yeah.
Special effects, indeed. No, I'm not going to pull any special effects on you, but real fast I can. Nope, I don't see it. I don't see it. So
it's in the
I'm going to appear
preferences.
to you as I appear to you right now, fat pink dragon in disguise, as you are an electric blue otter in disguise, and the effect is that when you do a show, you are in an altered state that is not visible to others. Okay, I've gotten down to it. I've gotten down to the ghost. There is a ghost in the picture. It is a soul that is present in our consciousness that needs recognition. This is the soul, the third soul that I knew as Trevor Oswald, the second walking. You've been 3 different souls to me in this life. I didn't ask you to believe me, but in fact, I've known you as the soul you were at birth and 2 other souls. You have returned as the original soul that incarnated as Trevor Oswald. This soul has chosen to return to the incarnation after having handed the baton to 2 other runners. I'm talking to a soul that is imprinted with its experience of the experience of contact with, in his life, of Krishna, Buddha, Lao Tzu, Jesus, Zarathustra, Muhammad, Socrates, and Gandhi. You're a soul that's known all the avatars. You've had experiences in past lives of triumphant experience of essence. This is within you, and of your capacity to reignite. It's an ember in you that could be reignited. But for the experience of your time with Krishna, which you are haunted by as a soul, and the way he died. The soul that was third runner in Trevor Oswald's life needs to be forgiven for having not been there for Krishna. When Krishna decided to walk off one night into an unexpected snowstorm with a bottle of brandy, curl up under a sycamore tree, and drink himself into the cold. They found him the next day wondering where he was, and he was frozen stiff, and you haven't forgiven yourself yet. So I can see it, and I would implore you to let go of that dark crystal that got stuck somewhere in the soul. And to dismiss this, to recognize this soul that has lingered for some time since you have returned as the original soul, Trevor Oswald. Give me 2 single numbers.
17.
Very good. There are 5 people in your life that you know who you knew in the time of Krishna, and your terrible heartbreak and remorse about not having been there to persuade him to stick around. Instead, your dear friend walked off into the snow and froze to death. I ask you not to believe this, but it is quite visual for me. And in this moment of power with you, I have discerned something that needs to be let go of. A dark crystal that needs to be cast out. A metaphorical crystal of remorse from 3000 BC or thereabouts. And so be it. Haunted by a soul you have been that appeared in your dream that indeed was a 7th level old soul. The second walk-in that Trevor Oswald had has now released and asks for some forgiveness and understanding for having appeared in your dream thus. I have grief about this, sharing this with you. Fear of failure, fear of joy and joy, and a personal joy with the word triumph. These dark crystals of non-memory, there's memory, but there's also that which is recorded on the Akashic plane. That there's that which the human soul remembers from this life, but also that which haunts us from other times. If we achieve a triumph in this time together, then both of us will be altered by this and may experience a new sense of confidence for in spite of all the opportunities that we cannot avail ourselves of. There are 5 souls in your life that you would very much like to be there for, but for your limitations cannot, and that causes you to ache. But in fact, you are here with me right now, unimpeded by the distance between physical bodies. And I feel your love, your grief, your fear of failure, your fear of the unknown, fear of lost control, and joy at having reviewed something not believable. I feel a sense of release from that time that I experienced with you, where we lost a master. He was tired. Just like Lincoln was tired, just like Gandhi was tired, Krishna was tired. And he just said, just a bottle of plum brandy and a snowstorm will do me just fine. Beautiful way to go. It was a beautiful way for him to go. And let's celebrate that we really accomplished a lot in the time when we knew Krishna. You were a soul that was really there for him. You worried about him a lot, and you were there for him as much as you could be, but he took his leave. Ghost.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Something has triggered me at all 10 levels. Physical, sensual, motivational, emotional, expressive, visionary, soulful, resolute, masterful, and ecstatic. I feel a new condition as a result of our movement down the river today.
I feel that too.
An ineffable condition that I can discern through the use of my 7th sense. And a sublime sense of achievement right now. How can we measure our work together such that when we do part, which is inevitable, it is our fate to meet and part as well. And It ignites a center of interest. 5-6. I have enthusiasm for expression. But when it comes to expression, I'm going to choose truth over else. Let this be truth or else. And I'd rather be dead than false with you. There is much that I cannot say in this life, but I have to applaud you for going the distance. You always come here to see me.
With pleasure.
It's so sweet of you. You go the distance to share what we share. Now I'm experiencing something transcendent. My first really sense of transcendent Zoom experience. My first one was tormented. With two people, I sat and discoursed, you could say. But with you, I feel a sense of you're holding my hand as I needed you to today, as I needed to cross a stream. You have come to hold my hand. I need to get over two stones in the stream. They represent two challenges for me to get from uncertainty to certainty today with your help. Have we crossed the stream yet? No. You will name the first stone that we will hop to safely with the next two numbers.
5-6.
How do I do it with my enthusiasm for expression? 5-6. I might shoot my mouth off. I might, say something foolish. What are my choices? 2 words.
Spontaneity. Resolution.
Wow. Should I trust spontaneity or resolution? I'm going to choose spontaneity. It seems a little foolish to many. Can I trust the spontaneity? Except that, well, look, I got this far and I'm still alive. And I'm enjoying the freedoms that I enjoy. I choose spontaneity.
Fair
Good.
enough. Yeah.
Let us resolve to choose spontaneity. Let us jump to the next rock. 2 numbers.
1-3.
Physical health. Physical soundness. 3 is soundness. Foundation. Sense of foundation. 3. 1 and 3. We are standing on rock 1 and 3. Holding hands, and our choices are the next 2 words.
Turbulent.
Yes.
And safety.
Turbulent is breathing in and out as you gestured. This is like a gesture flowing, of breathing out, in and out. Yeah. And my breath stinks, and if I breathe in, I'm robbing other people's oxygen, right? Because I'm creating the ozone hole all by myself as the human volcano. I choose turbulent. This stream to the other, this crossing to the other side is turbulent. The river could sweep us away back into doubt and lack of confidence that we share in common. I choose turbulent, and I'm enjoying the ride with you.
Thank you for the ride.
I don't mean to be hasty, but let us jump to the shore of certainty that we have sought to get to with the next 2 numbers.
7-8.
7 is soul. 8 is resolution. Let's do it. Let us resolve to trust our spontaneity towards the previous choice. Or Here we stand on the opposite shore, having achieved a triumph of, you could say, transcendence or transmigration, transport. And that the result is that we are transported by confidence now until further notice. Let us be resolved to be transported by confidence in our spontaneity. No matter how careful I am in speech and in drawing, let's say, towards marketability, I want my drawings to be marketable. But I experience doubt and lack of confidence and mistrust of spontaneity, because my spontaneity can get me in trouble. But here I am, still alive and enjoying a world market. And I might not make it to the London show or to the Venice show where I'll sign autographs and do photographs and enjoy the fame game for a spell. But you're famous with me.
Good enough.
And it may take a while to realize what we've done today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But we have something being recorded.
Yes. Yes.
But an incredible record. I thank you as a divine documentarian that you are to me.
Oh, thank you.
Such as somebody on a massage table could hear your work as they're being massaged in mid-Pacific.
I think that actually happens. Yeah.
Can't recall who that was again, but somebody called me from the mid-Pacific and said they got a massage and they were listening to your work. Look at this. That's just magic. Just digital magic. It's just
digital magic. Yeah.
World Wide Web magic of a new age that we have stepped into.
Yeah.
We are at life. We're on Earth at this time to celebrate the advent of the mature soul age. The trumpeters, for the lack of trained trumpeters, the announcement will be not made, but in this fashion. I declare that the new age has begun, and that it ought to be announced in some fashion by a pink dragon or by an electric blue otter in this fashion. God bless you. As a documentarian and one who has gone the distance to find a fat pink dragon and to be able to identify the cause of global warming as a fat pink dragon, let's get him. Let's get him. For you out in the listening audience, the viewing audience, I might say that I have come here in disguise to collaborate with Trevor Oswald in a way such that we might trigger something in the psychosphere through the collective consciousness in this fashion. Modest, adaptable, and dynamic we are together. It makes me a little dizzy to announce this, but mass events are of great interest to me. And though I can't jump in my car or an airplane or a train to get there, that we might get there in this fashion. The results of which may will cause ripples. The result of what we have triggered today will ripple through the psychosphere in its way, and such that we might get tracked down and implicated as conspirators in the launching of the new age. We are at a turning point on planet Earth at this time, and there are many authors who have announced it. And I would like to validate it with the powers invested in me. And so be it. In my mind's eye, I see a ship sliding into the ocean. The champagne has crashed across its bow. The confetti is flying everywhere, and here come old flat top. I like that. Sir. Yeah. John Lennon left it open for me to do a parody, which I would gladly sing as an announcement. Here come old flat top. He come grooving up slowly. And what a harbinger a piece of music was in 1970. That really was a harbinger, courtesy of magic of John Lennon, who was the Baptist. In this life, John came to announce something, and it went over our heads as a piece of gibberish in music form. I will celebrate with that song for the rest of my life. You're thinking that it's relay for justice, all these doomsday devotees pulling out their hair. This is waiting on the rapture. Seems so unfair. Yes, some world is ending. There's no damn justice for the crimes of the brain dead, the Prozac football, grab your Ziploc bag and your big stash of greens. He knows it stinks when the junkies get mean. Funky weather, light showers over me. Parodies are good. Satires are good too. There's something you do in your public presentations that is ineffable. And you're working with 3 spirit guides. Notably, one on the causal plane where Seth resides, the teacher Seth. One on the Akashic plane where Oliver resides in his working with you through the power of softness. And one spirit guide, Crow, on the high mental plane that works with you through your shows. You don't see them. They might not send you messages in verbal form, but your energy at the moment is really enhanced by Oliver on the Akashic plane. I can feel his energy on your energy, the power of softness. I've been very fond of Oliver's company lately, and my drawing hand is much better. And my speech is much better for my appreciation of the softness of wind, the softness of water, which can wear down mountains in due course. The way that your power of softness can erode fear. There are mountains that are actually molehills. They come to your concert, and the mountains that they show up with, that they've made out of molehills, dissolve back into the earth. It's ineffable, and you have no proof of your effect on the public through your personal power. But you can trust these spirit guides to be there for you when you need them. Just as Crow, the spirit guide on the high mental plane, can walk in and raise the roof, metaphorically speaking. The roof that weighs upon the public can be blown away when you work with Crow. Do people ever tell you that your show blew them away?
Sometimes I get nice comments.
Yes.
People are generous.
The public is not honest. you will have to interface with personalities after the show. Instead of honesty, you will experience the guile of the public. How you deal with guile is a question. I am very sensitive myself to the experience of dear friends who show up fettered by their thoughts, beliefs, and expectations, which cause them to withhold honesty and truth. How can I live with this? Truthfully, it makes me want to just leave this planet. All the games that people play and all the false personalities. It causes me daily a grief and anger with the world, which I must confess to. Though anger is bad, right? And instead, I'll go through my day occasionally sputtering, "Fuck you," and not knowing where my anger came from. Except that when I muscle test it, muscle testing is strong or weak, binary system. I see the truth that I am sad about the public and angry with the human public for denying the soul and its essence, and its emotional truths. I don't like being around the false. And thus, I am given temptation to bridge the gap between truth and falsity with spontaneous, which causes wonder. Can I trust my spontaneous self to say the next word with you in this moment of power? Fake. How do you deal with the fake? How do you deal with the artificiality at times of even the loved ones around you? I'm glad for the love, but the paradox is still that I'm afraid of success and love. Many wise guys, in many books you read in these positive thinker workbooks, that to love others, you must love yourself. Which to a Christian can sound a little bit narcissistic. Remember, you're a sinner. How can a sinner love themselves? Christians everywhere are befuddled, shall we say, by the temptation to respond to positive thinking and to love the self, but fettered to the idea that they are sinners and that they must continue to put on an appearance of false modesty at best, rather than to claim their personal power as souls and to declare, "I am soul and I belong here. I am not a sinner. I'm a soul and I belong here." Would I rather be a sinner or a soul? I choose soul. But as a soul, do I wish to belong to a religion or to the Tao? I have left the Tao many times and have gotten lost in this hypnotic world and in this hypnotic mind. I wish freedom from all the hypnosis and freedom to hypnotize myself into believing in a world that is created perfectly and is still a perfect campus. As they run around declaring that this world is imperfect, that we are all imperfect, and that the campus is all fucked up. I can't live in that world anymore. And to those out in the viewing audience, I would declare, it may be time to declare to yourselves that you are soul, none other than soul, doing another gig called life on a campus that was created perfectly and is still a perfect campus. I say to souls everywhere, take it back. You are not of this world. It is just a gig and another opportunity to manifest yourself as souls. What is going to get in your way, and what will you allow to discourage you? Our exercise here in this moment of power together will be of consequence. I have no expectations.
I'm feeling like this is a pretty good place to close.
Very good. Oliver, thanks you for being open to this mode.
Yes.
Kind of pragmatic as an attitude. Let's do it. Let's just do it anyway. It's not the scenic view, but we'll get there. And you've helped me cross a stream together. And God bless you, child. I really love you. You've really enchanted me through across the stream. I'm enchanted as we stand on the bank that we sought to achieve. And I will honor your sense of time here, and I will honor your personal power and creativity to do with as you see fit with this piece of creativity of ours. God bless you. I love you so much.
Thank you, dear Court. As always, thank you for sharing, for opening, and always look forward to more.
Kisses and hugs.
Blessings, my brother.
I love you. Over and out.
Thank you, Court. It's always an honor, and I always enjoy just sitting back and getting into the zone together. Thank you for the brotherhood. This song that you're hearing in the background is called Choose Good, and it is off the album The Education of the Individual Soul. It's the last track. It also features Mr. Johnson. That was way back in 2008 when I sampled his words from a conversation sitting at his house in the same way, in the same fashion. And many of his musings have come into music, into my life, and into my psyche. So thank you, Court. And thanks again to everyone on our Patreon, patreon.com/EastForest. And thank you to all of you for listening and sharing and walking your walk. Until next time, keep walking your walk. Don't take any shit, but if you do it with grace.
It's not hard to say goodbye. It's not hard to say goodbye. It's not hard to say goodbye. It's not hard to say
The repetition of my code is something I play over and over again, and it's like a little song that keeps me on track. 10 fingers, 10 laws that I live by. Always see the dangers first, always protect your feet, always be ready for cold, always be ready for heat, always know where good water resource is, always master the skills necessary, always get the job done, always know your place, always disallow foolishness, and always rest whenever you can.